A Kane in your corner investigation into a police shooting in Bloomfield uncovers an even bigger problem. Tonight, News 12's senior investigative reporter, Walt Kane, reveals issues with how New Jersey reports police use of force incidents across the entire state. It's this week's Justice for All.
Break the window!
This is Bloomfield police, seconds before they shot and wounded an unarmed motorist, Jeffrey Sutton.
516 shots fired! 516 shots fired!
Last week, we investigated whether police told the truth about how that shooting happened.
I know for a fact I didn't try to run them cops over.
Police say officers only fired after Sutton drove into 4 different cops, injuring all of them. But cell phone video appears to show Sutton did not make contact with the officers, and all 4 can be seen after the incident, seemingly unhurt.
Was there a need to shoot?
I don't think so. I mean, I've watched the video very closely, and I thought Jeffrey was trying to get out of their way.
Under Bloomfield's use of force policy, officers can use deadly force only if they believe it's immediately necessary to protect themselves or others from imminent danger of death or serious injury.
Even if there was danger that was so extreme, the way that it was handled was way above what was necessary for the circumstances.
But law enforcement analysts say while the police narrative may not be accurate, the shooting itself is harder to judge. That's because under the law, what matters is not if police were actually in danger, but if they thought they were.
You know, I think I can make an argument for both, that the officers may have perceived that this was an act of aggression. The question will be, did the individual's use of the vehicle rise to the level where the officers believed they needed to use deadly force?
Our investigation in Bloomfield also uncovered a problem with how New Jersey reports police use of force statewide. Here are the 2 officers who fired on Sutton, Officer Raymond Diaz and Captain Gary Peters. But if you checked the Attorney General's use of force database around the time our story aired, you wouldn't have seen either of them. A different officer's name was listed. We're not showing it here because that officer didn't use force at all.
We always talk about these bad apples, these proverbial bad apples. Well, how do we get to the bad apples? How do we get to the lying if we don't see, the records in an accurate way?
The problems with the data went far beyond Bloomfield. In thousands of cases statewide, the system displayed the names of random officers. A spokesman for the AG says there was a glitch in the system that resulted in the system not displaying the officer who used force. Instead, he says, where there were multiple officers listed, the system associated the report with the officer whose name came first alphabetically. The spokesman says that problem has now been fixed.
We shouldn't have to be dependent on a use of force database that is slow to be updated, that has holes, that has technical glitches like you're talking about, to get the information we need.
As for the shooting of Jeffrey Sutton, that case remains in the hands of the Essex County prosecutor. A spokesperson confirming the prosecutor is doing a use of force investigation, but beyond that, offering no further comment. In your corner, I'm Walt Kane, News 12.